I am going to delete my initial nCloth simulation. I'm going to make a new polygonal plane. And again, just like with the first one, I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to give it more geometry. And this time I'm going to rotate it. I'll do mine 90 degrees Z. Oh, we're looking at the back of it. Fine. Fine, I will rotate it negative 90 degrees Z. And I'll move it up a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Let me freeze my transformations just so that I don't keep going crazy. And now I'll move it up. So, just like with the previous demonstration, I am going to make this into an nCloth. So that's my flag. It's an nCloth. If I hit play, you'll see it fall down. And again, it's falling because I have not yet adjusted my nucleus node. All of that is fine. Because I want this to be a flag on a flagpole, I am also going to make a flagpole. I will make mine out of a cylinder. I'll just move it over to the side of my plane. I'll scale it up. And I'm going to give it a few more subdivisions around the height. My goal is to get enough. There's one subdivision kind of at the top of my plane and one kind of at the bottom. I guess I could move them around and be more precise that way. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this model. So we'll just move that down, right there. Right now, this cylinder has nothing whatsoever to do with the flag, but in 2 steps it will. The first thing I'm going to do is, with my pole selected, I'm going to go back into the nCloth menu and I'm going to make this a passive collider. A passive collider means that the nCloth will not pass through it, but will rather hit the surface. Now, the passive collider will not be affected by the gravity of the nucleus node, so it'll just sit there. So, you know, that's a good thing to do, but it didn't actually affect the way that the flag falls. So, the next thing that I want to do is a little bit tricky. I'm going to select both objects and go into vertex selection mode. I will turn soft select off. And I'm going to start shift selecting pairs of vertices. You can do this with as many as you need. I'm going to do just the top and the bottom, and mine is going to look a little bit silly. The more pairs of vertices you select, the better. And I did not hold down shift while I was selecting this second pair, so I have to go back up and do the top pair again. And shift, and now I should have 2 pairs of vertices selected. With these selected, I'm going to go to the N constraint menu, and under here, I'm going to go to component. That's going to ensure that these 2 components and these 2 components stay together during the simulation, and now what you'll see when I press play is that the flag stays in place on the pole. It's getting a little stretchy, and I can fix that by going into my cloth settings, but I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm okay with the cloth being stretchy. So now that I have affixed my cloth to my pole, I can go back into my nucleus node, and I can start turning up my air density and my wind speed. And of course, in this case, I would really like the wind to go along the z-axis, so I'm going to zero out x, and I will type in a 1 for z, and now I should get a little bit of wind going along that z-axis. You can see that right there. the more wind I use, the stronger the breeze the flag will take on. And the more dense the air, the stronger the wind effect is going to have. Oh, looks like I need to be -1Z. So I'll come in here, give that a -1, and play that one more time. The other thing that you'll see with this simulation is that the more frames you have, the more of the sim you'll see. So this one's going to stop at 120, which probably isn't really enough frames. If I give it a few more, like 300, I'll get to see more of the flag blowing in the wind. So that's it for my introduction to NCloth. I think you'll agree that that is pretty simple and also kind of fun. So give that a shot, take a few minutes, play around with your own flag blowing in the wind, and when I see you next, we will talk about particle effects.